that Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
Over 27 years later, we've learned more shocking details about Princess Diana's death. New facts about the accident keep coming to light.
The people that chased her into the tunnel were the same people that were taking photographs of her while she was still dying on the back seat of the car.
What was hidden? What really happened that day? Join us as we reveal the truth. The tragic loss of Princess Diana. Princess Diana's death was a tragedy that shocked the world. Her final days are still a mystery. In August 1997, Diana and her boyfriend, Dodi Al-Fayed, spent 10 days on his father's yacht in Sardinia. They arrived in Paris, planning to return to London the next day. Diana was excited to see her sons, William and Harry, after their summer break. That night, they wanted a quiet dinner, but changed plans because of the paparazzi. Instead, they ate at the Ritz Hotel, owned by Dodi's family. Around midnight, they left for Dodi's apartment, using a different car to avoid photographers. But something terrible happened. Their car crashed in a tunnel while trying to escape. Dodi and the driver, Henri Paul, died right away. Diana was still alive, but went into cardiac arrest. Doctors tried to save her, but she died at just 36 years old. Many questions followed. In 1999, French investigators said the crash was caused by the driver, who had been drinking. But in 2008, a British jury also blamed the chasing paparazzi. Diana's death was tragic, but her struggle started long before that night. What was she going through in her final years? And how did it change how the world saw her? The truth is still unfolding. Revealing hidden truths. In November 1995, 2 years before her death, Princess Diana gave an open interview with Martin Bashir on Panorama, a BBC news programme. Diana shared the struggles in her marriage with Prince Charles, including both their affairs. The world was shocked, and the Queen asked for their divorce. After the divorce, Diana lost her title, Her Royal Highness, and her royal security. Both Diana and Charles had affairs and used the media to hurt each other. But how did Bashir, a little-known journalist, get such an important interview? He used dishonest methods. A BBC designer later said that Bashir had asked him to fake bank statements. These documents falsely claimed that a person close to Diana had sold stories about her to the press. Bashir used these papers to gain trust and meet Diana. Once Diana saw the fake evidence, she felt betrayed, which likely led her to speak out. Years later, the truth came out. In the documentary Diana, The Ultimate Truth, journalist Mark Williams Thomas spoke with Tom Mangold, who had suspected Bashir's lies. Mangold learned from a colleague that Bashir had asked for the fake statements. Despite raising concerns, no one acted on them. 5 months later, the Mail on Sunday confirmed the forgery, but it was too late. Diana's words had already changed how the world saw the royal family. The documentary shows how Bashir played on Diana's fears. Diana's close friend, Simone Simmons, said Bashir showed Diana fake bank statements. This made her think people close to her were spying on her, leading Diana to open up on TV. Diana also feared for her safety. Security expert Graham Harding said Diana thought her phone calls were being watched. She even hired him to check for bugs in her rooms. Diana's friend, Roberto Dvorak, said Diana believed she would die young in an accident. The interview revealed so much about life behind the palace walls, but even more shocking secrets were uncovered. What else was hidden? Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. Lost opportunities. In this documentary, Mark Williams Thomas goes over Princess Diana's last days in Paris. He talks to people who've never shared their stories and experts who helped with the official investigation. Dr. Tom Treasure, a heart doctor, talks about Diana's injuries. He says when they pulled her from the wrecked car, she was awake but in pain, with fast heartbeats and low blood pressure. She didn't speak but moved her arm. Dr. Treasure also explains that Diana wasn't wearing a seatbelt and was sitting sideways during the crash. This caused a serious heart injury. He believes that faster help might have saved her. This leaves us wondering how things could have been different. The documentary also looks at who was responsible. A British inquest in 2008 found that the crash happened because the driver, Henri Paul, was drunk and on medication. He was also being chased by paparazzi. Martine Montet, the lead French investigator, shares what happened before the crash. She explains that the car hit another vehicle before entering the tunnel, causing it to spin and crash into a pillar. There are also rumors that Henri Paul's blood alcohol was reported wrong. Montet clears this up, saying tests showed he had alcohol in his system, but he wasn't drunk. The documentary raises more questions. Was the car tampered with? After the French investigation, British police looked into this. They worked with experts to find out if anything was done to the car that caused the crash. David Price, a forensic expert, checked another car like the one in the crash. He carefully looked for signs of tampering, like small explosions or objects that might have caused problems. The expert's findings, along with other evidence, gave a clearer picture of what happened that night. They wanted to put the conspiracy theories to rest and give answers. The documentary also talks about some of the theories people still believe: that Diana was pregnant, MI6 was involved, the accident was planned, or her medical treatment was delayed. Pregnancy rumors about Diana. Dodi Al-Fayed said that Princess Diana's death wasn't an accident. He believed she was pregnant with his son Dodi's child, and that was why she died. He thought the British government would not accept an Egyptian Muslim becoming the stepfather of the future King of England, so they had to stop her. Dodi and Diana met in 1986 at a polo match with his father and Prince Charles. Before Diana's death, there were rumors about her being pregnant. While on vacation in France, Diana hinted at a big surprise, which made people talk. Some tabloids thought she might be expecting, but there was no proof. Diana's friends said the rumors weren't true. The autopsy showed she wasn't pregnant. Blood tests confirmed it. People close to Diana said she had a normal cycle, used contraception, and never talked about being pregnant. So the pregnancy story is still unproven. What other theory was ignored by the establishment? The letter from Diana. Princess Diana was scared for her life. She thought someone might try to hurt her. This idea led to many theories about her death. Diana wrote a letter sharing her fears. Her butler, Paul Burrell, kept it safe. Diana wrote about feeling unsafe and needing help. She believed that someone was planning an accident to hurt her. She wrote, "This is the most dangerous time in my life. Someone is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, and serious injuries." She thought this was meant to help Prince Charles remarry. Before writing the letter, Diana had problems with her car and worried about them. She also thought her bodyguard's crash might not have been an accident. Even though Diana was afraid, there is no proof that anyone meant to hurt her. Authorities have never confirmed any foul play. This letter and Diana's fears still make people wonder about her death. And what about the paparazzi? Were they part of the story? Chasing fame. The paparazzi. For years, many people have blamed photographers for Princess Diana's death. The idea stuck because it matched a big worry Diana had all her life. The press was hurting her. Different versions of the story exist. Some believe the paparazzi chased Diana's car, causing the crash. Others think the photographers didn't cause the crash directly, but their actions made things risky. Another version says the paparazzi unknowingly helped set up the crash, which others then used to hurt those in the car. Investigations, however, gave another story. The paparazzi did follow Diana's car, but they weren't working together. They took photos of the accident, even though some witnesses said Diana was still alive. 10 photographers were arrested after the crash. The photographers competed for the best photo. They worked for different companies and had different jobs. Some were even professional photojournalists. The investigation found that the Mercedes was speeding to avoid the paparazzi. After looking into everything, Operation Paget said the photographers weren't part of a criminal plan. They were just following their usual routine of chasing Diana, who was often followed by the press. Diana had warned about the dangers of the paparazzi before the crash. She wrote a letter saying she feared they might hurt her. This warning felt chilling, especially since she had already faced car problems and lost her bodyguard in an accident she thought was part of a bigger conspiracy. Even though the official investigation found no paparazzi conspiracy, many still believe the press played a role in Diana's death. People think the constant chasing by the paparazzi made things dangerous, a danger Diana had long feared would lead to a tragedy. Next, we will look at the driver's role in the crash. Driver's role. Henry Paul worked as head of security at the Ritz Hotel in Paris and became linked to theories about Princess Diana's death. Some people think he worked for an intelligence agency, and that the story about him being drunk is not true. They believe the media made up this story to cover up the real cause of the crash. Some also think Paul's body was swapped to make the toxicology results look real. People think Paul didn't act drunk that night, which they say means he wasn't drinking. Others believe he had more money than he should, which might suggest he was paid by an intelligence agency. However, tests confirmed Paul had alcohol in his blood, though there were some mistakes. But it was clear that he had been drinking when the crash happened. Another theory is about the Mercedes Diana was in. Some think the car was tampered with or blocked, causing the crash. But the car was checked and no tampering was found. It was fast, but there was nothing wrong with it. The confusion about how fast the car was going comes from different witness reports. It's hard to judge speed in such a chaotic moment. Diana's death caused shock in Britain. Official reports say Paul's drunk driving caused the crash, despite many theories. Some people say they saw flashes of light as the car entered the tunnel. They wonder if these flashes caused the crash. But people saw flashes at different times, making it hard to know for sure what happened. Most flashes were from photographers or headlights, not anything planned. Some also say Diana's medical care was sabotaged. They think doctors didn't try hard enough to save her. They believe she might have survived if treated sooner or rushed to a hospital. But in France, emergency workers try to stabilize the person first, while in the UK, they focus on getting them to a hospital faster. Reports say many doctors would have had to lie for this theory to be true, and that didn't happen. Doctors agree her injuries were too serious to save her, no matter the treatment. Before her death, Diana spoke about an affair with her bodyguard, Barry Manicky. She said he was the greatest love she had. She believed he was killed after being removed from his job, saying, "I think he was bumped off." Some linked Manicky's death to a bigger plan. They said the motorcycle crash that killed him wasn't an accident. These theories mixed with ideas about Diana's death, leading some to believe her crash wasn't an accident either. But investigations found that Manicky's death was an accident. The driver of the car stopped right away and helped with the investigation. It was concluded that it was simply an accident. What do you think about Princess Diana's death? Could any of these conspiracy theories be true? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Don't miss the next video, you'll love it.